Hey guys, this is going to be my October wrap-up where I show you the books that I read in October along with the 5-star rating that I gave them on Goodreads, and then also my November TBR where I tell you the books that I'm going to read in November. The first two books I read in October are books that I started in September but finished in October, which is 50 Ways to Protect Your Identity in a Digital Age by Steve Wiseman, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's an excellent book if you want to know more about how to protect yourself from identity theft. And then for my humanities class, we read Beowulf, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I think I also started this book in September, although I can't really remember, and my voice is echoing weirdly back against something and I can hear it, and I don't know what it is. But the other book that I think I started in September was 31 Days to Happiness by David Jeremiah, which I received for review, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't necessarily the greatest book for me, but I could see other people really enjoying it. Anyway, some of these books are on my Kindle, and I'm not bothering to go on my Kindle and show them to you. That's why I'm not holding up some of the books, but this book actually I didn't read as an ebook, but I've taken it home now, so I don't have it with me, and that is Izzard's Revenge by Michael A. Stackpole, which was the 8th book in the X-Wing series and the last one that I actually own, so it's going to be a while before I read the others. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Magic of Impromptu Speaking by Andrei Sednev. I'm still not sure how to pronounce the author's name, but I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's an awesome book if you want to know more about impromptu speaking. For my adolescent literature class, we read The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. For my humanities class, we read The Inferno by Dante, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I read City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, the first book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I technically read this for my adolescent literature class, but it was my choice book and I was going to read it anyway, that's why I chose it. So yeah, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, but I'm absolutely obsessed with this series. I couldn't justify giving it 5 out of 5 stars in my mind for certain reasons, but I'm still like obsessed with this book and I need the others, and it's just really bad. Also for my adolescent literature class, I read Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book I read and finished this month was The Accidental Movie Star by Emily Evans, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And now we're going into my TBR with the books that I'm planning on reading in November. So for my November TBR, I'm actually going to include books I'm reading for class. I've never done this before, mostly because I was too lazy to go through my syllabi and look at what books I'm reading for the month, but this time I did. So for humanities, we're only reading 1 book this month, and I don't actually think we're going to finish it this month because we go back and forth between literature and art and music lectures, and so it takes kind of a long time, and I think this is one of the longest things we're reading all the way through, so I think it's going to go into December, but I'll include it anyway, and that is Hamlet by William Shakespeare. This is actually a Shakespeare play. I own everything that Shakespeare's ever written in a huge book, but I bought Hamlet because I didn't want to lug that to school with me, so now I have like a separate just Hamlet book, and I actually have never read Hamlet, even though I own it. But it's one of the Shakespeare plays that I've never read, although I have actually seen Hamlet performed, and it's the only Shakespeare play that I've ever actually seen performed live on stage, so I'm looking forward to actually reading it. And that was a longer rant than it needed to be. For my adolescent literature class, we're going to be reading 2 books this month. The first one is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This is a reread for me. I'm actually going to start it, I think, rereading it for class tomorrow. Which is still October. I'm filming this on October 30th, so I'll be starting to read this on Halloween. But I am really looking forward to it because it's been a while since I've reread these books. I keep saying I'm going to before the movies come out, but Catching Fire is coming out and I haven't. But I'm at least going to reread this one because I have to for class, and I'm looking forward to it because it's one of my favorite books ever. And then the other book that we're reading in adolescent literature is Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. I actually have never heard of this book. I think this was the only book, well, this and Slam, I think were the only books in our adolescent literature class that I hadn't heard of before reading them, but it's apparently an apocalyptic book Apparently there's something about a meteor hitting the moon and then all of this horrible things happening to Earth. I guess the moon gets pushed closer and is bigger, and that's the cover. But I'm looking forward to it because I've never actually read an apocalyptic book, so I'm interested in seeing how good this is. And that's it for school books this month, but I usually include 5 books I'm going to read for the month, not including school books. This month I'm going to do 6, primarily because I'm filming this on October 30th and I'm starting a new book tonight because I'm not currently reading anything, which is rare for me, like, to not have at least one book going with school. But I think that I will be mostly done with this because I don't think it'll take me that long to read. I think I'll be mostly done with it by November, but not completely, so I'm including 6 books. Anyway, the first book that I'm going to start tonight is The Darwin Award's Next Evolution, Chlorinating the Gene Pool by Wendy Northcutt. I've had this for a while. It came from, we were in AP Biology. Our AP Biology teacher had some of these books that she would like lay out and let us read, and they were really funny, and so I wanted one and I bought this and haven't read it yet. Basically, if you've never heard of the Darwin Awards, it's basically stories of people who are so stupid that they did something that led to them either dying or at least not being able to have kids. So they were so stupid that they took their genes out of the gene pool so that their evolution, there wouldn't be as many stupid people. And I think there are runners-up too. There's like Darwin Awards, and then there's at-risk survivors, which are people who actually survived. So yeah, it's just like a bunch of funny stories of people doing stupid stuff, and I'm going to start reading that tonight. And then I'm going to read Americashire, A Field Guide to Marriage by Jennifer Richardson. I'm showing you the picture of Goodreads on my phone instead of it on my Kindle because I don't want to like open it. But it's basically about, apparently, I got this because it was free and it sounded interesting, but there's an American woman and a British man who buy this really old cottage and everything, and it's just like a memoir kind of thing, I think. I'm pretty sure that it's non-fiction. And then I have Ouran High School Host Club Volume 6, which it's been so long since I read Volume 5, and I've been meaning to like continue with the series forever, so I am going to get to this month. And this is a manga for those of you who are. And then Your Novel Day by Day by Mary Anna Evans, which is like a guide to writing a novel. And I just realized that this phone may not be showing up on the camera. I hope it is okay. But it's just like a guide to writing your novel. And then Ouran High School Host Club Volume 7. I'm going to try and read like as much of these as I can like this month and in December of what I am. And then the last book on my TBR for this month is The Century Handbook of Writing by Garland Griever, which is obviously about writing. But that is all for my October wrap-up and November TBR. I will see you guys later. Bye.